Okay, good morning and welcome to HUD News. We have got a lot to discuss today, okay? So I've entitled this Desperate Times Require Desperate Measures. I'm going to give you the last few things that I know that might help you get into a continuum of care or HUD, okay? And outside of those few things, there's nothing left, okay? The system is so overwhelmed right now everywhere in this country that it's gotten really, really bad. And we all knew this was coming. I've been warning most of you since March. Unfortunately, if you're new to my channel, I don't ever like to give bad news, but we both know the virus is causing this problem right now. So like I said, if you are new to the channel, I do have a website, and one of the reasons a lot of people come to my channel is I do have the most videos about it. I have the most manuals. Everybody knows that I have continuum of care and HUD manuals that outline scoring systems, their entire manuals of how they operate. And so you're able to see into this stuff like you've never seen before, okay? I mean, it's like you're being trained to be an employee at one of these locations. And so that helps you successfully navigate and get to the top of the list. The problem is you can't get to the top of any list if you can't get in the door or get anybody to answer the telephone. And that's the process and problem that we're facing right now. So I'm gonna give you the last few tidbits that I have, okay? And then all I can do is, just receive all the emails that I normally get from you guys, and then have to repeat the same things over and over. That I don't have a hotline into these people's organization. I don't have a red telephone in the CEO's office that when I call, he goes, Jay, we go ahead and send them on down there. We're ready to get them housed. And it doesn't work that way, okay? But let's go on to what's going to be useful to you. First thing first, okay? So in March, we can get you in the system with the information I know. Then as time has progressed, the system has became overwhelmed, and now it's flooded, and it's actually going to get a lot worse than this, okay? It's probably institutionally going to shut down, and nobody's going to get anything, okay? We're probably within weeks of that at this point. Unless you live in a tiny state in a small county that still has a little bit of room, and they're still willing to open their door, the chances of getting into HUD or doing anything with HUD or COC are probably almost zero, okay? Right now. And this could be temporary, to later this year, or it could go all the way into next year. Look, when you got 30 million people that are unemployed, and now they're lifting the federal mandate for evictions, that means there's going to be 30 million new people homeless across the country. There's no housing. There's no possible way to handle all this, and people are already calling. So, okay, so option number one. This is for times desperate measures. Okay, so if you go to my main website, look, if you don't know where my website is, you can find the link in the description. You can find it in the comments. You just click on it. It's a basic website, as you can see. It's got my channel name. It tells you I'm a little bit of an expert at what I do. Most people know that by now. And there's links to every single type of resource and manual that has to do with HUD, low-income housing, whatever, okay? So what I've added new here is the emergency COC housing phone numbers. Look, these people are going to be pissed off once they realize that I published their numbers, okay? These are not the little telephones up front with the $1 worker. These numbers are going directly to the directors and the people that run these programs, okay? Hey, it's desperate times, so they should be prepared to have to field questions. They can't just sit there quietly and collect $80,000, $90,000 a year behind a closed door with the front door of their building locked, and then unplug the answering machine and expect people not going to call their office. So I'm going to give you the number to their office. Call them and light their ass up. Hey, man, what the hell? You need to open the door. If you're going to sit there and collect stimulus money and you want loans from the government to run your programs, then open the fucking door. Turn on the telephone. Stop playing with people, okay? Overwhelmed or not, there's billions of dollars being poured into COCs and HUD, but these bastards have the doors closed, the phones off, and they basically, the answer machines have been thrown in the toilet. They're not even wanting to deal with that anymore. It's just go every morning, they go open the door, answer machine, you see a blinking light, click delete and wipe the list. Fuck it, today's over with. We don't have to answer anybody's call. That's what's going on right now, okay? That is a consensus that a lot of people have and the attitude they have. So things have really gotten kind of bad. Now, for those of you that don't like adult language, I'm sorry, but you need to hear it the way that it really is. So if it offends you, you don't have to watch my channel. But I think that we need to all come to the gravity and grip of what's going on, okay? So call those numbers, call those directors, say, look, I need help. You know what? Your secretary has already been trained like a monkey not to answer the phone, so I want answers from you. They also have the email. So let's take a look at his list. Every single state, every program director. Call them, light them up. Seriously, email them 1,000 times and tell you, make these people responsible. How can they even possibly, how can they sit there in their own beautiful home, collect all this money to run all these programs, but yet they do nothing? You know what I'm saying? They're sitting there not watching Netflix with their suburban kids, and they're not answering the phones or doing anything with these programs. But you know what? The government's continuing to pump money into all of these different programs for housing, but the people running it, they sure as the hell have nothing to worry about it. And they've got the perfect excuse to keep the door closed and the phone unplugged, because why? Well, the money can keep flowing in there. They don't have to spend it. They don't even have to open the door because they have a virus. You see, it insults their intelligence. They don't want to be around dirty people that are low income and all this stuff. They don't want to open the door and catch the virus. That's their excuse. So they can continue to collect money and not do a damn thing for anybody. So light their ass up and tell them that you need help, okay? Look, there's one other resource I want to tell you about, and this is a tricky one. And so you decide whether it's ethical or unethical. If you have mental problems, and say you went down to a hospital and whatever mental problems you have are severe enough where they want to commit you, okay, to a hospital, a psychiatric ward. Look, it isn't like the 60s. They don't keep you for years. Most of those situations are 3 days, maybe a week. In some of the major states, they may keep you several months, okay? One, that is a form of housing. But that's not the reason I'm telling you that. The reason I'm telling you is if they send you to a state hospital, not a hospital psychiatric ward in a hospital where they have a wing. I'm talking about it has to say state hospital. They send you there. One of the things they have to provide for you before they release you is housing, okay? So their caseworker, counselor have to make contact with the COC, and then they have to figure out your housing situation while you're still in there, okay? So what it does is it forces them in a situation to start processing your application through a COC before you can leave a state psychiatric hospital. I want to again repeat, these are not private psychiatric wards. These are not a wing in a hospital that's a psychiatric ward. It has to be a state hospital. So if you, for instance, being committed, anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of months in one of those, then you could potentially force their hand in processing that application. So you can call these directors, you can go the psychiatric route, but outside of it, there's nothing left. Now, let me warn you about one additional thing, people. HUD was the first one to go down when it came to housing, okay? And so they're not answering doors. Then the COC fell, okay? It became flooded. Now it's pretty much almost wiped out everywhere. So the third thing that's going to fall that you guys are not thinking about is going to be homeless shelters. They are at almost 99% capacity, which means if you are already imminently going to be homeless and you don't get into one of these programs in one of these shelters and you don't get that housing from a shelter right now, in about 30 days, it's going to be too late. They're not going to have any room. And plus the social distancing rules, a lot of shelters just shut their doors and are only willing to throw out a little bit of lunch meat out the door to you and wish you good luck because they don't want people run the risk of having people with the virus in their buildings. So I'm telling you, if you don't get established with a shelter now, it's going to be too late in the next 30 days. And then you're really going to be on the street. And then you'll be sleeping in hospital ERs, trying to play games with psychiatric hospitals and get a spot in there. And of course, homeless people are the most savvy. They'll simply go out and commit a misdemeanor theft and then sit in jail for a couple of months and ride it out. That's just how they do business, okay? I know a lot about homeless because I've been there and was out on those streets for a decade. And trust me, stayed in jail, stayed in psychiatric. I wasn't crazy. There was nothing wrong with my brain, but I knew one thing. They offered showering, TVs, a little bit of freedom, food in a psychiatric ward. So, hey, man, when it's 30 below in Chicago, one call to 911 and get you a week at the hotel, the psychiatric hotel is what we used to call it back when I was on the street. I don't do any crazy shit like that anymore, but I used to serve psychiatric wards, man, when things got tough. What else would you do? Let me tell you something, it's a lot nicer in a psychiatric ward than it probably is in a shelter, okay? So I'm just being honest. You folks are going to have to do what you've got to do. I shouldn't have to, as a grown man, shouldn't have to tell some of you this, but I want some of you to stop emailing me 50 times, okay? And it's not, and, there are mothers with children that have severely disabled kids, okay? And so they really need help getting the housing, and I'm willing to work with them, okay? And I'm also willing to work with people that don't understand the system. But I've had a few of you that actually have had the nerve to sit there and dictate to me that I should write you basically a 40-page email explaining everything. If you suffer from a mental illness that makes it impossible for you to read or interpret that information, then you need to get somebody to assist you, okay? I don't have the time or resources to go and write out entire novels. I'm serious, 10,000, 40,000 words to explain step by step everything. If you do that, and what I have a feeling is these are actually not people that have that severe problem. What I feel like is going on is I got people like to play games. And when you start playing games, you get blocked. I'm just going to go directly to your profile, click on your picture, block you, and then be done with you. I don't want you on my channel, okay? I want to help. Let me tell you something. I make maybe $1 or $2 a day, maybe up to $10 a day from this channel. This is not a living, okay? So when I make these videos, I do it because I honestly want to help people. I don't have to do anything. I can just shut it down, delete everything, including the website, and just be done with it, okay? But my parents raised me better than that, and I've always wanted to help people. Hell, I've been out there on the street, and I understood when I got off of there that the only way I could repay the debt that I put on society was to give back, and that's what I've done now that I'm a grown man. I'm not a kid running around homeless on the street anymore. So I'm repaying all those debts to people that helped me, so I'm doing that for y'all. So don't come to my channel and try to abuse me. And you guys that are asking for consulting advice, a lot of that shit's a scam. Don't come on my channel telling me that you need consulting for this and that. Look, I will consult with a real builder, a developer, or a landlord, but if you're coming on here to try to obtain financial information, or if you actually think you're clever enough that you're going to actually get me to give you the actual email to my channel so you can hack into my YouTube channel or my AdWord account or any of that stuff, you're crazy. I don't ever use my real email or passwords or anything connected with my YouTube channel. So if you're trying to pilch me, you're out your tree, bud. I operate at a much higher level intellectually than you can imagine. So do not try to game me with, your email's not working. Can you please give me the one you use for your channel so I can, steal your channel, this kind of stuff. I'm just telling you, I'm seeing a lot of unsavory people come on my channel lately. Okay, so I've done plenty of ranting. Look, guys, I just wanted to be real. You all know me to be real, and I'm always getting good information. If you don't have the housing and you're not in the system already, then you need to start looking at your housing options through a shelter or through a psychiatric facility to ride out this nasty wave until next year. I don't have any other answers I can possibly give. You can call to these directors around the country and then just let them, you know what, if they're not going to do anything, just give them a piece of your mind anyways. You don't have to give them your real name. And the only other thing that you could possibly do is call 211 and 311, and that's a mixed bag of tricks, because some of the stupidest people I've ever spoke to in my life are the people that man the phones at 211 and 311. They're like stupid little clowns that only know how to key in things, and they want to give you a bunch of bullshit numbers to nowhere. That's never changed. It is the most useless service ever. But occasionally you'll get somebody that's young on there or old that's on the phone that wants to help you. But mostly you just get lunatics. Okay? Lunatics behind a keyboard that give you a bunch of useless fucking numbers to nowhere. So I'm just going to be honest, man. If you can get them to take your application for you, that's great. If you can't, if they start giving you additional numbers, just hang the fuck up and then call another time, okay? Because I'm as irritated with that too. People go, hey man, I called 211, that's a joke. Yes, it is. It really is. It's a sad joke. The shit needs to be shut down. Because it's so, they don't even bother to check the phone numbers that they're giving out. So I'm sorry. I apologize in advance for all the cursing, but I think it's warranted. I think that you really need to get to the point, because some of you I'm not driving that point to you well enough. The other thing I'm going to say, look folks, it's been a very, very long year for me. I've produced over 100 videos in less than a year, okay? I'm exhausted, so I'm going to be taking a break from YouTube. There's nothing more that I can really add to the subject right now, because there's really no way. I'll continue to answer questions by comments and email, but I think I need a little bit of time away from YouTube. This has been very stressful. 100,000 messages in 10 months, close to it, and a lot of this is because people will people ask questions, and you can just tell they didn't watch the video, they didn't read anything. They instantly go straight to my email, blah, 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 and ask me the same fucking questions that I've already answered in the videos, and it's starting to rattle my cage. So I'm going to be taking a week or two break from the channel. And for you loyal supporters and my new supporters that come on the channel, don't worry, I will be back. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the support. And you guys come to the channel, but for right now, I need a break. Okay? So look, for those of you that are out there that are struggling with children and all that, you've got my email. I will reply to you. So if I know you got children, you got bad disabilities, I will help, try to continue to help. But I'm going to take a break from YouTube. Okay? All right, enjoy the rest of y'all's week. We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right? Bye.